So yesterday we talked about being wary, people that are claiming to be gurus in this space. I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff, and I just read another one today, and it is so disheartening, and it is so hurtful. It is hurtful to both anxious, preoccupied people and avoidant people. And here's what it said. This was a post that literally said that intensity or emotional intensity is the regulation strategy of the anxious preoccupied. It is the strategy that they use to cope, is what this message said. It literally went on and on and on and on, explaining how a coping strategy that anxious preoccupied people use is emotional intensity. That is the furthest thing from the truth, and it is absolutely unhelpful and in most cases harmful. You cannot tell people whose nervous system immediately goes into fight or flight mode when something happens that activates their nervous system, that is their strategy for regulating themselves. That is not their strategy. That is what happens when something happens to make their nervous system feel like it's afraid. It is not the thing that they use or go to get better. They need to soothe themselves emotionally. They need to figure out a way to back off, calm down, breathe steadily, maybe take a breath, and maybe just sit in a table with a glass of wine in their hand, or open up a book and start reading something that's going to help them to calm themselves down. And if we say that the normal coping strategy is emotional intensity of anxious, preoccupied people, then what we're saying is that now it is the fault of the dismissive avoidant when an anxious, preoccupied becomes distressed. And we have to stop blaming people all the time, right? Remember, our nervous system is activated by stuff that has happened to us in the past, right? So it sees something that's happening now. It remembers something. You don't. It does. It remembers something from the past. It immediately triggers or activates, whatever word you want to use, and then it becomes intense if you're anxious. Sometimes if you're swinging towards anxious and you're fearful. And it also, to dysregulate itself, it will retreat if it's avoidant. These are strategies. The strategy for the avoidant, right, is to retreat for dysregulation. An anxious person, their strategy is going to be breathing exercises, massaging the vagus nerve. That is a strategy for coping, not what that message said. You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.